I'm very happy about the progress made with the implementation of the Ubuntu worldview here in Portugal. I am particularly impressed with the choices made, choosing 5 dimensions of Ubuntu. Of course, there can be many more, but the choices are important. And so let me start with the first one, self-knowledge. I think self-knowledge to me lies at the heart of what Ubuntu really is. The word Ubuntu is really a combination of 2 words. Ntu, N-T-U, is a word that stands for person, and Ubu means I'm becoming. So I have to realize I'm already a person, but I'm not complete, because you complete me. So I am a person, and a better person, and a richer person because of others. So it is self-knowledge. Self-knowledge means I know who I am, I know my own story, but this is a journey rather than an endpoint. Self-knowledge lies at the heart of Ubuntu. It says I am because you are. It says any person is a person by virtue of other persons. Self-confidence is equally an important part of Ubuntu, because self-confidence makes a statement, not an arrogant statement. A statement that says, I know who I am and I know my value. Self-confidence has got to do with a statement of value. It's not a statement of arrogance. Humility, by the same token. When I say humility is not a call for having a bad self-concept. Humility is simply a non-overestimation of myself. In the same way, self-confidence is a non-underestimation of myself. So humility is important so that I don't overestimate myself, and self-confidence is important so that I don't underestimate myself. But self-confidence is important because it talks about focus, and it talks about courage, and how to stay focused on where you want to go, and how to have the courage, even in the face of opposition and criticism, to continue working in the interest of other people. So Ubuntu is not about going on a personal mission, but going on a mission in the interest of the community. Resilience. This is an important word. I think particularly because we have, all of us, whether we are rich or poor, whether we are young or old, we all encounter obstacles. And those of us that's at school, there are certain subjects where you give up because after 5 minutes you say, I cannot solve this problem, and so I'm not going to continue. Resilience has got to do with working through the pain threshold. And so if you want to achieve your goals, you have to make sure that the goals that you set are congruent with the things that you value most. Because if there's congruence there, you will be able to overcome the obstacles, and you will be able to work through the pain. It is the case that some people who grow up in conditions of hardship know from an early age what it means to survive and to fight to survive. And therefore their pain threshold is higher. And we just have to be aware that without resilience, even if you were born in different circumstances, you have to develop resilience in order to deal with the challenges of life, because there will always be challenges. Empathy has got to do with feeling with others. And it's a very important foundation before you can work with others and for others. And empathy at the end of the day is not only just feeling, any feeling, it's a feeling of love for others. Love forms a very important part of Ubuntu, because you cannot work with people unless you care for them and love them. Service captures everything. But service is connected with leadership. And service has got to do with servant leadership. But these two concepts, being a servant and being a leader, are seen as opposite terms. And when two opposite terms come together, it's called a paradox. So we have a paradoxical word in servant leadership. But it is important to bring those two together, because you cannot lead a community unless you care for them. You cannot serve that community unless you care for them. So servant leadership has got to do with a kind of leadership where I serve first and I lead second. And I do not use my leadership as an opportunity to get something for myself only, but to serve the community. And I just want to say at the end that if you don't care as a leader, if you don't love your community, if you do not love the people you serve, you will end up using them, abusing them, and dismissing them. It is very easy, if you don't love, that you use for your own purpose. And that's why service is not just doing things because you can do things with all the best intentions of the world, but there comes a time when service does not help. Service can hurt people if it does not subscribe to the principles of servant leadership.